order, please rise. Can we have a moment of silence? Keep our troops in our prayers. Thank you. Dennis, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood.
Here.
Freeholder Barrett Blanté.
Here.
Freeholder Kenny. Freeholder Polos.
Here.
Freeholder Tamaro. Freeholder Valenti.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Here. Tonight we have the presentation and the introduction of the 2015 budget. This time I'd like to make some comments in reference to the budget. Unfortunately, Freeholder Kenny couldn't be here tonight because of a work commitment, but he's been involved with the budget as finance chair. So tonight it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the proposed 2015 Middlesex County operating budget. This budget is a result of hard work of our finance committee, our department heads, and the entire, and I mean the entire Middlesex County workforce. Our process began in August of 2014, when we began developing budget projections driven by programs and services provided to the taxpayers of Middlesex County. Since then, our administration and finance department worked with each department to develop a budget proposal that reflects the Freeholder Board's focus on enhancing operational efficiency while partnering with our employees to effectively and efficiently carry out quality programs and services that are affordable to our taxpayers. This board will be working closely with the administration, the finance department, and the department heads to review and finalize the budget in preparation for adoption at the first meeting in March. Though the 2015 budget process began in 2014, the budget being introduced tonight is the result of sustainable financial policies and the sound fiscal procedures that we put into place in 2008. These policies have continually earned us a AAA bond rating, the highest possible rating, and have given us the ability to complete infrastructure improvements, enhance services, and decrease our operating expenses over the past 7 years. Before I introduce our CFO, Joe Pruitti, to offer details on the proposal, I would like to highlight some areas for you. First, through operational efficiencies achieved through new technology and organizational restructuring, the county has saved over $30 million since 2008. Just to name a few projects, we have consolidated offices into shared space, saving more than $500,000 annually over the past 3 years. Our solar panel field at our North Brunswick complex has already saved $1.8 million in energy costs since going online in the spring of 2013. It will save us an additional $1 million each year for the next 13 years. Also, since 2008, the county's operating expenses have increased by less than 1.9% on average each year. The 2015 increase are primarily attributed to $3.9 million in state aid cuts, areas over which the county has no control. The state, year after year, has cut aid for very critical programs, such as mental health and social services, transportation, aging, and human services. The state has and continues to shift its responsibilities onto the Middlesex County taxpayers. As has been our practice, we have once again sought out recurring revenue sources. This year, we will complete an upgrade to our emergency communication systems and offer our municipalities the opportunity to join our system, which offers seamless, systematic communications to all police and emergency services units in the county. This shared service opportunity will not only make our operations more efficient, but offer savings to our municipal partners. Perhaps most impressive is the 2014 implementation of our debt policy and a fund balance policy, which have resulted in an approximate savings of $120 million in debt since 2013. I think that's pretty good. Effective policies, efficient operations, and a commitment to offering the best services possible at the lowest possible cost are the hallmarks of this Freeholder Board in particular, and of good government in general. I really thank my Freeholder colleagues and the entire Middlesex County workforce for making these goals a reality and for their commitment to the people that we serve. At this time, I'd like to ask Joe Pariti to walk us through the details of the 2015 proposed budget.
Freeholders. Okay, as the Freeholder Director indicated, we're introducing the county budget tonight. And if we go to the first slide. The budget, as introduced, reflects a county budget of $430,137,000. The increases in the salary and wages area are approximately 1.4%, and in other expenses to support services, 2.8%. We experienced a slight reduction in grants expenses. On the revenue side, the story is that they remain relatively flat. We look at about an increase of $500,000 or so, $487,000 over last year. We still are experiencing a trend that we have encountered in the last few years of grant reductions. We lost about $400,000 this fiscal year in grants. The next slide, please. Sorry. If we look at a trend over the last 4 years of the growth of the county, it's 1.1% between 2011 and 2014. If we include 2015 in that mix, it increases slightly to 1.2%. When compared to the national average of the Consumer Price Index and the rate of inflation, it's almost half of that, or a little bit more than half of that. So we managed to not only keep up with inflation, but do relatively better than inflation rate over the last 4 years and including this year. The primary increases to this year's budget are reflected in this chart. What we can see is the state is the biggest culprit with $3.9 million in state cuts, which causes the county to increase their budget, our budget. The mental health and social services program appropriations were increased by $2.7 million. The state reduced various grants, including youth services, transportation, aging, and human services. These are grants which the freeholders want to continue to provide for the citizens of the county. However, it does increase the budget by $3.9 million. Employees' health care increases rose by $1.3 million. Our educational funding for the college and the vocational schools and technical schools increased by $700,000. We had various technical and engineering improvements that increased the budget by $500,000, and contractual agreements for our correction facilities, mainly in the medical and food services area, rose the budget, increased the budget by another $500,000. This chart reflects healthcare costs since 2011. As we know, healthcare costs increase yearly, but the county has managed to keep the rate of increase relatively low. Between those 5 years, the 5-year average is 2.68. When you compare it to the state of 8.78, or even the national average of 5.92, you can see that it's considerably lower. If you look at the last 4 years, that rate decreases to 1.48 versus a state rate of 7.9. Now, the main reasons we've been able to achieve this relatively low rate of growth is primarily because of employee contribution, but also because of a successful wellness program and managed care programs that provide better care for our employees and reduce in avoiding chronic diseases for employees, which are very costly, as we all know. Freeholders, we plan on adopting a budget if the state, given state approval, on March 5th. And between now and then, we're going to continue working hard with the department heads, the Freeholder Board, and the office directors of the county to try to reduce that increase of $9 million or so. Before I leave, I'd like to thank my staff for working very hard over the last month, really the last 3 months. But in particular, Gabe Cook, the Assistant Controller, is here tonight, and the Budget Director, Isam Abbas, very instrumental in helping us construct this budget. I also like to thank Brian Lockland, the Superintendent of Vocational Schools, Joanne LaProla Morales, President of the college, as well as Sue Perkins. They work very well with us, hand in hand, and they've been very cooperative as well. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. Thank you.
This time, Resolution 1554, the clerk will read the resolution by title only.
Authorize increase in 2015 tax levy cap limits and establishment of a cap bank, NJSA 48:4-45.14, to be increased by 2% in the amount of $4,624,604. Authorized public hearing to be held on March 5th, 2015 at 7 p.m. in the Freeholders meeting room.
This time, I'd like to open the meeting to the public to discuss, make any comments on the resolution only. Anyone from the public that would like to make any comments on the resolution?
There being none, I move that we close the public portion.
So second. Motion by Freeholder Valenti, seconded by Freeholder Belmonte. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, is there a motion to adopt resolution number 1554 only?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to adopt by Freeholder Valenti, seconded by Freeholder Belmonte. Roll call, please.
Freeholder Armwood?
Yes.
Freeholder Barrett-Belmonte?
Yes.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios?
Yes. The clerk will read the summary of the approved budget.
Yes. Total general appropriations for year 2015, $430,771,000. For year 2014, $421,523,400. Less anticipated revenues for year 2015 is $73,266,000. For year 2014, $73,184,946. Amount to be raised by taxation, county purpose tax for year 2015 is $357,505,000. For year 2014 is $348,338,454.
Is there a motion to introduce the 2015 budget?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Valenti, seconded by Freeholder Belmonte. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood?
Yes.
Freeholder Barrett-Belmonte?
Yes.
Freeholder Polos?
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti?
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios?
Yes. Clerk will read the budget notice.
Annual Budget of the County of Middlesex for the fiscal year 2015. Be it resolved that the following statements of revenues and appropriations shall constitute the county budget for the year 2015. Be it further resolved that a summary of said budget be published in the Home News Tribune in the issue of February 7, 2015. Notice is hereby given that the budget and tax resolution was approved by the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Middlesex on January 15, 2015. A hearing on the budget and tax resolution will be held at the Middlesex County Administration Building, New Brunswick, New Jersey, on March 5, 2015, at 7 p.m., at which time and place objections to said budget and tax resolution for the year 2015 may be presented by taxpayers or other interested persons.
Thank you. We have recognitions tonight.
Just one this evening, recognizing Eagle Scout Christopher Goff.
Is there a motion to adopt the recognition?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Freeholder Valente, seconded by Freeholder Belmonte. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes. Is he here?
Freeholder Barrett Belmonte,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Valente,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. He's not here tonight, Margaret?
No, we will mail it to him.
Okay. Reports of freeholders. Freeholder Ken Armwood.
Thank you. Good evening. Middlesex County Votech Schools introduces advanced manufacturing major at the East Brunswick campus to prepare students for an upcoming manufacturing revolution in the United States, according to industry professionals. Beginning in the 2015-2016 school year, the district will launch the 4-year, all-inclusive advanced manufacturing program that will expose students to multiple disciplines, including both traditional and cutting-edge technologies. The New Jersey Talent Network for Advanced Manufacturing, based at New Jersey Institute of Technology, estimated that by 2018, the United States will be a lower-cost producer of manufactured goods than China. The Votech is looking for those young kids who really would flourish, learning the skills needed to manufacture and potentially have their own business. Cultural and Heritage Commission celebrates Black History Month with a folklife storytelling program, Tales from an African Drum. Saturday, February 7th at 2 p.m. in the historic Indian Queen Tavern, East Jersey Old Town Village in Johnson Park, Piscataway. Traditional tales originating in West Africa were later passed on to Haiti and the American South to instill life lessons into storytelling, a family event at the historic village. This is free of charge with registration required. Please call 732-745-4489. Disability services are available. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder Armwood. Freeholder Deputy Director Carol Barrett Belmonte.
No report this evening, Director.
Thank you. Freeholder H. James Polos.
Thank you, Director. A couple quick items. Post the holidays, many people received a lot of electronics gifts, televisions, computers, and so forth. I'd like to mention to everyone that the state does provide for the recycling of what we call e-waste through some of the large big box retailers who sell that type of equipment. I believe Best Buy, Office Depot are some of the names that are out there that you can bring your electronic waste to. They take it for free and recycle it properly. If you're interested in doing that, you can go on to the Middlesex County website, or you can go on to the state DEP website to get exact locations. We encourage everyone to properly recycle this electronic waste, not to dispose of it improperly in your regular trash or certainly on the roadside, and take advantage of this DEP program. The county did actually have a program for a number of years where we supplemented the DEP program. Unfortunately, due to reductions in costs, reductions in the recycling revenues, we can't find any vendors who are willing to provide the same program. So we are encouraging everyone to make sure that they take advantage of the state-run DEP program through the major retailers. Second item, and one that's much more serious, since Christmas, we have had a number of fires in Middlesex County, and unfortunately, we've had 2 deaths and 8 injuries. I've been at some of the fires, and they're catastrophic. They are caused often by individuals who fail to take the basics in fire safety, things like lack of smoke detectors, which we often hear about, but sometimes tend to ignore. Making sure that the batteries are renewed, doing that when you change your clock so that they're operational. And this year, we've seen a rise in the increase in the number of deaths as a result of improperly using electrical cords, where there's stacking involved, putting one cord next into another, having 4, 5, or 6 items plugged into the same cord, and then perhaps at the end, an electric heater because it's been particularly cold outside. I can't stress enough to those of you who are here today and to those who may be watching this to please check your cords. Make sure that you're using UL listed cords. Make sure that if you're using any type of a strip plug or box where there are multiple receptacles, that it is a safe type, not something that you buy in a dollar store. There needs to be an appropriate fuse and reset button. You want to make sure that you're using it properly. There's nothing wrong with having multiple cords in one receptacle. We just have to make sure that the receptacle is the right one to accept it. So I can't stress enough to parents who are watching, family members who are watching, those of you who are here today, check your electrical cords. Don't assume that because it just looks okay, that it is okay. You really need to take a little bit of time, read the instructions, read what's on the cord, check with someone if you're concerned. You can go to one of any of the retail stores, bring that cord. If you bought it at a dollar store, I'm not suggesting it may not be appropriate, but take the time to take it out, take it to an appropriate store and ask someone, is this a safe cord to be using? For the difference in price, you might save a life, and that life might be your own. Thank you very much, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Paulos. Freeholder Blanquita Valenti.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. Given the cold temperatures we've been experiencing, I want to remind residents that a number of energy assistance programs are available to help people with their heating costs. Each of these programs has specific criteria in order to qualify. For information on the programs or to find out how to apply, please visit the Office of Aging and Disabled Services page on the county website or simply call the office at 732-745-3295. I also want to mention once again that the county, along with its community partners, is sponsoring the annual point-in-time event on January 28, 2015. This survey assists in developing a snapshot of the number of and reasons for homeless persons living unsheltered outside in emergency shelters, transitional housing, or otherwise precariously housed within the county. There will be 3 locations where participants can fill out surveys and receive information on various government and community-related services, food, and an article of clothing. All the articles of clothing, such as coats, socks, and hats provided to the homeless, are obtained from donations from the public. To donate items or get additional information at a point in time, please call our County Office of Human Services at 732-745-4041. And that's my report, Director.
Thank you, Freeholder Valenti. A couple items I'd like to mention. Obviously, Freeholder Tamaro is recovering from his injury. It's going to be a while that he's being laid up, but he's. I spoke to him today, and I've had constant contact with him. He's just because he's home out of the hospital and out of rehab, that does not mean he's not working, because he's certainly working from the phone and the computer, doing emails, and he's in constant contact with us and fulfilling his duties, and he's really anxious to get back on his feet because that's his style, and he sends his best wishes to everyone. I was joined by my Freeholder colleague Blanquita Valenti at the Middlesex County College State of the College address, and it was a nice address by President La Perla Morales on the programs and mentioning different accolades about our college. Yep. And it's 50th anniversary this school year that we're in, and we also reached another milestone. First time in the history of our county college, the girls basketball team, we had a guard, she reached her 1,000th point. Now that's a great accomplishment coming from a 2-year college, let alone a 4-year college. It's tough. So coming from a 2-year college, she really did it Joanne, what was her name again?
Korea Perrier.
So, and it was a three-pointer at that. So,
22 points a game.
yeah, really nice. So, and our college is ranked in basketball 7th in the nation. Not too shabby, not too shabby. So our college is making very great progress, not only academically, but with our sports programs. Okay, Mr. Kelso, do we have any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held?
There are none.
Any to be voided?
There are none.
At this time, I open the meeting to the public. Any discussion on any of the resolutions listed? Anyone from the public?
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Freeholder Valente, seconded by Freeholder Belmonte. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are any, Mr. Kelso, any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
I do not believe so.
Okay, Mr. Kelso.
Yes, Freeholder Director, a motion would then be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 15-47 through 15-119, excluding resolution number 15-54, which was previously voted upon.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Valente, seconded by Freeholder Belmonte. Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Barrett Volante,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. At this time, I open the meeting to the public on any discussion.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Larabina. I live at 20 Jefferson Avenue, New Brunswick, New Jersey. And I'd like to thank the Board of Freeholders for improving crosswalks or adding crosswalks to Easton Avenue right across or between Housing and Bugalo Park. They look great, very visible. I think you guys put in 6 or 5 or something around those numbers, and they look great. And I actually traffic stop on Easton Avenue to let 2 pedestrians cross the street when they were waiting in the crosswalk, so they're doing what they're designed to do, and they look good. So thank you for that. I do have a couple of questions for the board. So my address is right next to the old Middlesex County Vocational Education Building on Easton Avenue, and I understand our county VOTEX are doing some great things, especially the Edison Academy and the Perth Amboy Academy there. And I was wondering what is going on with that building. Has it been sold? And if it has, then who to? Because there's nothing going. It doesn't seem like there's anything going on inside it.
I can answer that question. The property was actually conveyed to St. Peter's Hospital, I believe about a year and a half or 2 years ago. I believe that there was a plan for them to provide for some additional back office space. I don't know the status of what their plan is, but I know it was conveyed to St. Peter's Hospital.
Okay, well that's definitely a worthy institution. And by conveyed, does that mean sold, or does that mean
Sold.
kind of given? Okay.
No, sold.
And is there kind of a time requirement for them to occupy and start using the building, or make improvements and start
My
using the building?
recollection is that there is, I just don't recall what it may be, but I believe that the city wanted to have some progress at the site, and I believe there was a 2 or a 3 year time period. that was
Okay,
in that.
and is that starting to come up, or was it a recent sale?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't recall. It isn't recent. It was, but I think it may have been during the year, the beginning of 2014 or thereabouts.
Okay, so pretty recent. Okay. Let's see. So, I've asked for a crosswalk crossing George Street from Bugalo Park to the John Lynch Memorial Bridge bike path, and I don't know if I got an answer on it or not, if it was doable, but it hasn't been painted, and I saw you guys did the Easton Avenue painting, so I was wondering if there's any progress on that, if that's going to happen or not.
Rich?
We're in contact with the city of New Brunswick. We recommended it. The city has to adopt an ordinance, and upon their adoption of the ordinance, we would concur with the resolution, and then it can be installed.
Okay. I have to go talk to the city then. All right. Thank you. And it would really improve that area. There's tens of millions of dollars of bikeway on the John Lynch bridge there, and continuing off of the bridge and onto Rutgers campus, and that would really kind of connect Piscataway and New Brunswick if we could get some sort of crossing there. Crosswalk is really the minimum, but something that would be great. And then the last thing I'd like to ask about is Riders Lane. There's a piece of Riders Lane that comes into New Brunswick right on the Douglas campus. There's a number of dorms and a good amount of traffic there, but there is no sidewalk along a very small section of Riders Lane. And I would ask that either you guys can talk to Rutgers University, because that's some of their land there. If we could put in a sidewalk there to get some safety for the students. I drive down that road quite often. I do see students just walking down the road. It's very thin at night, and it's dangerous.
All right, you know what, we'll have our people check it out to see whose actual property it is, and then we'll follow up to see whose responsibility it would be, and we could make a phone call, whether it be to the city of New Brunswick or Rutgers or Piscataway, whoever actually joins the property or owns the property, and we'll talk to them and see what if they can address it.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you so much,
Thank
Director.
you. Anyone else in the public? Is there a motion to close?
Yes, I move that we close the public portion.
Second.
Motion to close by Freeholder Valente, seconded by Freeholder Belmonte. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Freeholder Valente, seconded by Freeholder Armwood. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.